Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Whip Around and Find Out. I'm Gary Whipperman. Championship Thursday has come and gone, and boy, what a day it was. We have got a lot to talk about today. Reminder, our show presented by, as always, the Circle Tap in Denmark and Wonder Springs Golf Course in Greenleaf. Feel free to drop your comments in today. We'd love to hear from you. Your experience last night, how it was, whether you won or didn't win. I mean, it's still an experience, and the kids went through a lot yesterday, a lot of emotions, and a lot of things to process. But speaking of processing, we have a lot to process here. We've got a lot to talk about. We're going to jump right into things right away. It was a great night last night. Now, I will say there's two games that I still don't know the outcome of, and maybe they're getting rescheduled for today. That's the two Division 5 games involving Athens, Blair Taylor, Northwood Sold Springs, and I don't have the other one in front of me, but I know there's two games that are still hanging out there in D5, so we'll see what happens with those. I'm sure they'll get played today, assuming the weather cooperates. But everywhere else, we got games in, and we got a lot to talk about. So let's start with our top 10 games, starting with, let's see. You know what? I'm going to give you just a quick rundown of what we're going to talk about today before we get into that. Hey, 48 teams started the day with the same goal: win one game, punch a ticket to Goodman Diamond, keep the dream alive. But by the time the final out was recorded Thursday night, 24 teams were celebrating sectional championships. 24 teams saw their seasons come to an end, and what a day it was. We had extra innings, we had walk-offs, we had comeback victories, we had dominant pitching performances, we had defending champions eliminated, and we had programs ending decades-long waits to return to the state tournament. Coming up today, we'll count down our top 10 games of Championship Thursday. We'll check in on our picks to click. Remember, I made those picks yesterday. I'll let you know how I did. We'll visit the Circle of Dominance. We'll do one more check into the Hard Luck Hotel, and we'll take our first look at the field heading to Goodman Diamond. And of course, we'll crown another Who's That Girl winner. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's get started counting down the biggest games from Championship Thursday. Jody, thank you so much. Appreciate that. So Athens plays at 11 today. Thank you, Jody. You guys sent me pictures last night. I'll tell you what, my email and social media was flooded with pictures, which was great. I have not had a chance to crop or format any of them, but I just put them into a quick slideshow. We'll play that today. These are all the pictures you guys sent from sectional championships last night from all around the state. We got a ton of email, a ton of DMs, and it was fun. It was fun getting all those from you guys and just seeing the excitement around the state for what turned out to be a pretty darn good Thursday night. Okay, starting with our top 10 games of the week, let's start with number 10, Sun Prairie East 5, Wanakee 2. What did I say? What did I say all year? Sun Prairie East going to lay in the weeds. Yeah, they're good, but, well, hey, 11 in a row. 11 times in a row, this team has made it to the state tournament. That's, we talk about Kaukauna, and rightfully so. We talk about, Cedarburg. We talk about these teams. 11 times in a row. I mean, the only time they didn't make it was 2020, and that's because nobody made it. I'm surprised they didn't even make it then. Well, there's no state tournament and there's no season, but by the way, Sun Prairie East is in the state tournament. So great job by the Cardinals. For most of the afternoon, this game felt like it was headed towards extra innings. Sun Prairie East got on the board first when Miley Gross launched a solo homer in the third. Wanakee kept battling and finally pulled even in the sixth. At that point, momentum felt completely up for grabs, and this is where that championship experience comes in. Wanakee, a really good team, a young team. They got several sophomores on this team. East with Abby Packard, Allison Geezy. I mean, they've been down this road before. They know what's at the end of it. Sun Prairie delivered the decisive blow. Gross again ripped a go-ahead double. Ella Camp followed with another RBI double, and a Wanakee error added an insurance run. Just like that, a tie game became a 3-run lead, and when the Cardinals handed the ball back to Allison Geezy, it was over. Geezy struck out 9, didn't walk a batter, and helped send Sun Prairie East back to Madison. A strong finish for a team that's been one of Wisconsin's most consistent programs all season. Number 9, Beloit Turner 3, Mount Horeb nothing. Sometimes sectional finals become offensive shootouts. This wasn't one of them. Every pitch mattered, every base runner mattered, every defensive play mattered. Turner got on the board in the first inning thanks to a Mount Horeb error. Then came the biggest hit of the afternoon. Kennedy Crawl lined a 2-run single in the third inning. That pushed the lead to 3, and from there it became the Olivia Piranillo show. The Turner ace tossed a complete game 3-hit shutout. Mount Horeb never stopped battling, but every time they threatened, Turner found an answer. Olivia and her defense were the story of the day for Turner. 3 runs, 3 hits allowed, 1 sectional championship. The Trojans are heading to Goodman Diamond. And by the way, I got a note last night. I want to just share this because she's a good friend of mine. Jayla Jackson from Turner sent me a note and told me last year we had her on our show last year, and she said, Gary, when we make it to state, I'm going to send you a Turner shirt, and I want you to wear it when we play at state. And I said, Jayla, you got a deal. And of course, they didn't make it to state last year, but she didn't forget. She sent me a message last night. She said, Gary, I have your shirt waiting for you, and I can't wait to see you at state. This is what it's all about, you guys. I told a bunch of the Elman Bancroft people last night. It's not about stats and scores and highlights, which all that stuff's great. It's about relationships. It's about seeing the kids have these opportunities to have these experiences. That's really what the whole thing is about. The games are just something that occurs to help facilitate that. That's the important thing. I always say it. The important thing's the journey, not the destination. It sounds corny, it sounds cliche, and maybe it is, but I think it's that way for a reason because I think it's really true. All right, number 8. You got to give it to the Pirates. Pewaukee wins it 4-2 over Whitnall. This one looked bad early for the Pirates. Whitnall jumped out to a 2-0 lead in the first inning. The Falcons had the momentum, and then Pewaukee's offense struggled to get anything going. Then came the 6th inning, and then came one of the best stories of Championship Thursday. I get goosebumps even telling this story. We've talked about her all year long. We talked about how important she was to the success of this Pewaukee team, how crucial she was for this team to make a run. And then she broke her wrist, and Sam Brewster stepped in, stepped up, became our Who's That Girl from Tuesday with a tremendous performance. And then who steps to the plate in the 6th inning? Haley Hutchins herself, and delivers a huge RBI single. Estella Levis followed with another run-scoring hit. An error brought home another run, and suddenly the Pirates had completely flipped the game. But the story goes beyond the scoreboard. After a broken wrist, many believed, including this guy, that her season was over. Instead, she fought her way back, worked her way back, and returned when her team needed her the most. With a trip to Goodman Diamond hanging in the balance, Hutchins delivered one of the biggest hits of the day. That's what postseason sports are all about. Overcoming adversity, refusing to quit, and rising to the moment when everything is on the line. Pewaukee completes the comeback and heads back to Madison. And this is what we talk about. This is why sports are so important, because it teaches perseverance. It teaches going even though you don't feel good, or even though you're hurt or injured. That's going to work even when I don't feel so great, but I got to take care of the family and I got to go work. They all learn this stuff here. This is what we're talking about. These are the life lessons that coaches talk about when they have those long sessions after the game, where we're all rolling our eyes like, oh my God, what else is there to say? That's what they're doing. They're imparting these lessons into their coaching. That's what these men and women do, is they're passing on these life lessons to these kids, because that's what it's really all about, is teaching these kids how to be productive, responsible members of our society, and really just good people. And we have so many good people. Okay, number 7, Marathon 3, Auburndale 2. A game where every run felt like gold. Marathon scored twice in the first inning. Then Peyton Brickner launched a solo home run in the second. At the time, it felt important. By the end of the game, it felt massive. Auburndale never stopped pushing. The Eagles chipped away, got runners on board, created pressure, and made Marathon earn every out. But Allison Podasky wouldn't let the tying run cross the plate. 7 innings, 9 strikeouts, and a complete game performance under pressure. Marathon survives, Auburndale falls just short, and the Red Raiders are heading to state. What a great game. By the way, I got to give thanks to my friend Steve Maves from Zaleski Sports. Steve was kind enough to send me text updates last night. He called the game over for the Marathon Auburndale at Auburndale and was kind enough to send me updates on what was going on. So appreciate you, Steve. Hopefully we can see you next week in Madison. All right, number 6, Union Grove 8, Oak Creek 7. If you like offense, this game had plenty of it. Oak Creek actually held a 3-2 lead after 3 innings. The Knights looked poised to pull off the, I don't know if you called an upset. We talked about these teams. We said, hey, mirror images. And again, last night showed that. Then Union Grove exploded. The Broncos scored 4 runs in the 5th, added 2 more in the 6th, and suddenly held what looked like a comfortable 8-4 lead. Not so fast. Oak Creek wasn't done, not even close. The Knights mounted one final rally. 3 late runs, pressure mounting, the tying run looming, the season in the balance. Every pitch felt enormous, but Union Grove found one final out. The Broncos escape and advance. Oak Creek's comeback falls just short, and Union Grove punches its ticket to Goodman Diamond. Those are games 10 through 6. If that's how the countdown starts, just wait till you see the top 5. We've got defending champs eliminated. We've got 4 home run heartbreak. We've got a program ending a 20-year drought, and we've got a walk-off thriller that earns our game of the night. We'll continue the countdown after this break. You're watching Whip Around and Find Out, presented by the Circle Tap in Denmark and Wonder Springs Golf Course. We'll be right back.
There she goes. Final score, Ashwaubenon 1, Neenah nothing. We'll be back for the noon game. Jaguars versus Fox Valley Lutheran. Until then, for our dancing queen, Addie Phipps, and Barrett Herr, and the victorious Jaguars, I'm Gary Whipperman. Thanks for watching. Last thing, biggest thing of the day, we are W7, and we are for the girls. See you soon.
If you don't know W7, you don't know Sumter East softball.
I'm Kenzie Longley.
I'm Stella Ewell.
I'm Vanessa Vite.
I'm Carly Gross.
And W7 is for the girls.
If you don't know W7, you don't know Keewatin softball. I'm Grace Lightning, and W7 is for the girls.
Welcome back to Whip Around and Find Out. We've already covered games 10 through 6. Now it's time for the heavy hitters, the games everyone was talking about Thursday night. Let's get back to the countdown. Number 5, Fox Valley Lutheran 7, Denmark 6. The defending D2 state champions are out. And that tells you everything you need to know about how difficult this game was. Denmark entered Thursday 1 win away from returning to Goodman Diamond, 1 win away from getting a chance to defend its state championship. And the Vikings played like a team determined to get back. Shaylin Krasniewski homered. Maggie Frank drove in 3 runs. Every time Fox Valley Lutheran looked ready to pull away, Denmark answered. But every championship run eventually reaches its moment of truth. And for FVL, that moment came in the 3rd inning. One thing we talk about all the time, you guys, in this show all season has been unlikely heroes stepping up and performing in the big moments. FVL eliminated last year in the sectional semifinals. Was the window closed? No. They added two big freshmen, Kinley Peterson and Tenley Wolfrath, to this team, and those two were difference makers last night. Peterson delivered. Tenley Wolfrath ripped a huge RBI triple, and the Foxes regained control, and then Madison Babcock took over. Maybe not her cleanest outing, not her most dominant outing, but maybe one of her toughest, because championship pitchers don't always have their best stuff. Sometimes they simply find a way, and that's exactly what Babcock did. The defending champions are eliminated, and new Division II champion will be crowned next week, and Fox Valley Lutheran is headed to Madison. I've got a quick comment here I want to just put up. Let me just drop this off. This is from Amanda Hansen. I was on the 2004 state team from FVL, and this game was played on the exact same field 20 years later in the sectional final. Great timing, Amanda, and congratulations. Your Foxes are headed back to state. The last time they were there, you were playing. So thanks for sharing that. That's a great story. And again, this is what softball is. It's all about the stories. It's all about, these the history and just the whole fabric of the game is just such a great experience. All right. So thank you for that, Amanda. Appreciate it. Number 4, I don't know what to say about this one. Some people called it an upset, I guess. I don't know that it was, because I talked about them. Oh, by the way, it was also the exact same field against Denmark too. Nice. Thank you, Allison. That's Allison Hatley checking in. It was the same field and against Denmark. How about that? Played on the exact same field 20 years later and the exact same team. See, history just repeats itself. Okay, number 4, Stevens Point 7, Green Bay Preble 6. You could say it's an upset. I mean, I guess, but to me, I've been talking about this Spash team all year. They feel different. They feel like a special team, and they proved it last night. They landed a punch. Green Bay answered. Spash scored. Preble answered again. Nobody could get separation. Nobody could land the knockout blow. And then Callie Dekas, this is Stephanie Treichel's quote-unquote niece, or cousin's daughter. Callie delivered one of the biggest performances of the day. 4 RBI, including a massive 2-run home run. Jordan Roth was everywhere. 4 hits, 4 trips on base, constant pressure. By the way, I met Jordan Roth 3 years ago. She was playing right field in the Plover tournament, and she was exceptional. I mean, a lot of the kids, at that level, it's more, strategic in the hitting. So a lot of kids were trying to go opposite way. And, when you go opposite way, the ball kind of takes a funny curve, when you're in right field. She played them all perfectly. I mean, I was starstruck by how great she was in the outfield. But anyway, congratulations to Jordan. Sophia Abundis added 3 more hits, and still Preble wouldn't go away. The Hornets tied the game in the 5th, threatened again in the 6th, threatened again late, but Spash continued answering every challenge. 1 run, then another, just enough. By the time the final out was recorded, both teams had left everything on the field. Spash survives, Preble falls, and Stevens Point is headed to Goodman Diamond. And once again, it's heartbreak for Preble. Once again, the bridesmaid, not the bride. The drought of no state tournament appearances continues for the Hornets, despite a tremendous season this year. They were outstanding all year long, and there's no shame in losing this game. As I mentioned, Spash is a very good team. I had some of the folks at Alman Bancroft saying, well, what kind of seed do you think Spash will get, like a 6 or a 7? I said, no. They'll be a 2 or a 3, which they should be. So congratulations, Spash, on a fantastic win. Callie Dekas, again, big night. Number 3, Appleton North 9, Kimberly 8. The real sectional champs stood up, but what a game. You couldn't take your eyes off this one. Every inning felt like something crazy was about to happen. Kimberly came out swinging. Literally, the Papermakers hit 2 home runs in the first inning. Most teams would panic. North didn't. The Lightning answered immediately. Then Kimberly kept hitting bombs, and Appleton North kept finding answers. The game exploded in the 4th inning. Appleton North scored 5 times and appeared to take control, but Kimberly was not finished yet. We got to play. If we're gonna do this, we got to do it right. Kimberly not finished yet, not even close. Brecken Lutke launched a home run, then another. By the end of the afternoon, Kimberly had hit 4 home runs, 4, and scored 8 runs. 4 home runs, 8 runs, and it still wasn't enough. Appleton North piled up 13 hits, found answers every time the Papermakers made a push, and somehow survived one of the wildest games played anywhere in Wisconsin this season. An absolute classic. Congratulations, both Team Kimberly. You guys were legit all year long. It was so fun following you guys, and congratulations on a great season. Appleton North headed to state. First time since 2018 for the Lightning. Congratulations, Coach Nissen, Coach Frega, and the Appleton North Lightning on a big, big win last night. Number 2, Medford 6, Baldwin Woodville 4 in 8 innings. This game had everything. Momentum swings, big hits, late drama, extra innings, and one unforgettable story. Medford scored first, Baldwin Woodville answered, the Raiders built a lead, the Hawks fought back, then came one of the biggest moments of Championship Thursday. Shannon Fritz stepped to the plate in the 6th inning and crushed a game-tying home run. Again, what do we talk about? You know, unlikely heroes coming up and having a big day. Great job by Fritz. Suddenly, all the momentum belonged to Baldwin Woodville. Extra innings, season on the line, every pitch mattered. Then Medford delivered the biggest hit of the season. Zalea Leonard ripped a 2-run single in the 8th inning. The Raiders were 3 outs away, and when they needed someone to finish the job, they turned to their ace, Riley Harabi. The Medford ace was magnificent. 8 innings, 14 strikeouts, one of the most dominant performances of the postseason. And then came the moment everyone in Medford had been waiting for. The final out, the celebration, the realization the Raiders are headed back to the state tournament for the first time since 2006. 20 years of waiting, 20 years of heartbreak, 20 years of misses gone. Medford is finally going back to Goodman Diamond. Let me get our slideshow back up again. I want to just keep this going for the rest of the show. All right, number 1. Lodi 8, Adams Friendship 7 in 8 innings. This was the game of the night, and honestly, it wasn't close. There was no question this was going to be the game. Everything you could possibly want from a sectional final was packed into this one. Early offense, lead changes, momentum swings, extra innings, a walk-off finish, and one of the most emotional endings of the entire day. Riley Weaver got things started immediately. The Adams Friendship ace launched a 2-run homer in the 1st inning. Then she kept delivering, hit after hit, run after run. By the end of the day, she had driven in 4 runs, and it looked like it might be enough. Adams Friendship grabbed the lead in the 7th inning. The Green Devils were 6 outs away, then 3 outs away, then 1 strike away. But Lodi refused to quit. The Blue Devils tied the game in the bottom of the 7th. Extra innings, winner goes to Madison, loser's season ends. Then came the final play, a routine fielder's choice, a run crosses the plate, ball game, Lodi wins. The Blue Devils are headed to Goodman Diamond. But before we move on, we have to take a moment to recognize Riley Weaver and Kenna Kirstenlohr. Riley, a big home run, 4 RBI, an incredible career. Kenna also a tremendous career at Adams Friendship and going on to UW River Falls for state softball. And I will tell you this, and again, this is when we talk about the softball family and how close they are. We were at Almond Bancroft last night. They defeated Cambria Friesland 6-1. The minute that game was over, I had kids coming up to me saying, Gary, what's going on with Adams Friendship game? Are they winning? Is Adams Friendship going to win? They all that's all they wanted to talk about was rooting on Adam's friendship, because they have so many friends on that team, including Kenna, that they wanted to see go to state, and they came up just a little bit close. I talked to Kenna's mom last night a little bit, and we're hoping that she's going to make it up to state, and if she does, she's going to join me on our broadcast, certainly for the Almond Bancroft game if she can make it. So we're hoping to get her on with us for that. But congratulations, Adam's friendship, on a fantastic season. Unfortunately, somebody had to lose, and that's what makes this game so memorable. Lodi survives, Adam's friendship falls, and our game of the night belongs to the Blue Devils. What a night. Extra innings, walk-offs, defending champions eliminated, and 24 teams punching their tickets to Madison. But before we move on, let's see how our picks to click performed. A few of them came through in a big way. That's next on Whip Around and Find Out. We'll be back. You're watching Whip Around and Find Out, presented by the Circle Tap in Denmark and Wonder Springs Golf Course in Greenleaf.
If you don't know W7, you don't know Kewaskum softball. I'm Lauren, Silent Disco, Rettler, and W7 is for the girls.
If you don't know W7, you don't know Superior Softball. I'm Haley Zembo. I'm Emma Ray. I'm Indigo Fish. And W7 is for the girls.
Thousands of athletes are competing for the same spots. The ones who get noticed, they give coaches something to watch. Recruited Films produces cinematic athlete recruitment videos, shot professionally, built around your athlete's strengths, and designed to do one thing: get them noticed. Your athlete's story is ready to be told.
Happy Friday, everybody. Everybody recovering from a big Championship Thursday. Welcome back to Whip Around and Find Out. Championship Thursday delivered some incredible moments, and a few of the players we highlighted before the games stepped up exactly when their teams needed them the most. Let's check in on our picks to click. Here's the report card. Sophia Abundis from Stevens Point. When Spash needed offense in a sectional final, Abundance delivered with abundance. 3 hits, an RBI, a run scored, and a trip to Goodman Diamond. Every time Spash needed a base runner, Sophia seemed to find a way. A tremendous performance and one of the best games of the day. We just saw her. If you just watched this commercial with Recruited Films, this is her. This is that girl. That's Tenley Backhop from Mineral Point. We said this game had all the makings of a pitcher's duel. It did, and Backhop completely owned it. 7 innings, 13 strikeouts, a complete game shutout. That's not just a good performance, that's domination. Jordan Roth, Stevens Point, 4 for 4, 4 hits in a sectional final against a Preble team fighting for its season. One of the best offensive performances we saw all day. Also, our pick to click was Riley Harabi from Medford. If there was a bigger performance Thursday, I didn't see it. 8 innings, 14 strikeouts, a state berth on the line, extra innings, and when the pressure got bigger, Riley got better. Medford is heading to state for the first time in 20 years, and Riley Harabi is our picks to click MVP from last night. Good job, Riley. Okay, great players rise in big moments. Great pitchers do the same, and Thursday gave us plenty of dominant performances in the circle. You know what it's time for? The Circle of Dominance. Every day we recognize the pitchers who completely own the circle. No rankings, no countdowns, just dominance. Last night's Circle of Dominance includes Bitsy Palika, Hamilton, 1 hit allowed, 13 strikeouts, a complete game shutout. Oh yeah, she also homered. Riley Harabi, Medford, 14 strikeouts, 8 innings, 20 years of waiting ended behind her right arm. Tori Bugles, Johnson Creek, complete game shutout, 12 strikeouts, no runs allowed. State bound are the Blue Jays. Tenley Bachop, Mineral Point, 7 innings, 13 strikeouts, a complete game shutout. Allison Podaski from Marathon, 7 innings, 9 strikeouts, a state clinching victory for Marathon. And of course, Madison Babcock, complete game, 8 strikeouts, and perhaps most importantly, a victory over the defending state champions. Lexi Carlton, that was our game last night. Almond Bancroft, another complete game performance, another postseason win, another trip to Madison. I give Lexi so much credit. You know, she has stepped up when her team really needed her, and they needed her last night, and she was great. But also that Almond Bancroft defense was unbelievable last night. The plays, we'll show some highlights today. Lainey Carlton was a beast at second base. Tia Dernbach at third base. Maya Dernbach in center field. Emily Petrick in right field. They completely took the game over defensively. It was so great. It was so fun to watch. We talk about winning on the margins. That's what what Almond Bancroft did last night. They won on the margins, and they won in the middle of the page too, but they really won in the margins. When you need a big defensive play, when you need a big stop, when you need a rally killer defensively, they came through time after time after time. Molly Fox from Marshfield, 1 hit allowed, 7 strikeouts. They beat Chippewa Falls 11-0 last night, you guys. Nobody picked that one. Nobody had Marshfield winning, let alone winning 11-0 over a very good Chippewa Falls team. Congratulations, Marshfield. And by the way, so as you guys know, we're going to be audio live streaming all of the state tournament games. I talked to my friend Sandy Costa. She's a alum from Marshfield, and said, Sandy, I'd love to have you come and join me on our broadcast of the Marshfield game. She now coaches, so she's out of high school probably 4 or 5 years maybe. She now coaches a youth team, a club team, and she said that she was going to certainly plan on coming. So hopefully we'll get Sandy on with us and talk some Marshfield softball when they play on Wednesday. Haley Caspery Lomira, shutout work in the circle and a home run at the plate. Not a bad afternoon. Caspery has had a tremendous postseason, you guys, for Lomira. Lomira going to state, a big win over Clinton. Lomira scored 9 runs in the first inning. They were up on Clinton 9-0 after 1. They won it in 5, 11-0. Olivia Piranio Turner, 3-hit shutout, complete game, state tournament bound. 10 pitchers, 10 dominant performances, and every one of them helped punch a ticket to Goodman Diamond. That's today's Circle of Dominance. When we come back, it's going to be the Home Run Club. Lots more to talk about. Don't go anywhere. It's an extended edition of Whip Around and Find Out. We'll be right back. You're watching W7.
If you don't know W7. I didn't write the first one. Mess it up. If you don't know W7, you don't know Kakona softball. I'm Paige Miller. I'm Callie Meredith. And W7 is for the girls.
Hey, hope you guys Friday's off to a good start. Thanks for making Whip Around part of your Friday, part of your daily routine. I've heard from so many people. I've been late for work every day this week because I've been watching your show. All right, I'm glad to hear that. I love hearing that. All right, let's talk about the Home Run Club. Thursday delivered plenty of fireworks. The 2-home run club, Piper Olson from Grantsburg. Olson launched 2 home runs and drove in 3 as Grantsburg defeated McDonald Central 12-6. And as if that wasn't enough, she also threw an immaculate inning. For those of you that don't know, we've talked about this before. An immaculate inning is 9 pitches, 9 strikes. That's it. No foul balls, no balls, just 9 strikes in a row. And that's what Piper did last night for Grantsburg. That's a pretty good day at the office. Brecken Ludke from Kimberly. Ludke did everything she could to keep Kimberly alive. 2 home runs, 4 RBI, and a relentless effort in one of the wildest games of the day. Unfortunately, even 4 Kimberly home runs weren't enough against Appleton North. Riley Weaver from Adams Friendship. Weaver's 2-run homer helped fuel our game of the night. She finished with 4 RBI and nearly carried Adams Friendship to Goodman Diamond before Lodi walked it off in extra innings. Elena Robertson from Lodi. Robertson sparked Lodi's offense with a solo homer and a 3-hit performance. The Blue Devils survived and advanced in one of the best games of the postseason. Mara Lane from Lodi. Lane added a solo blast in the 2nd inning that proved critical. Every run mattered in an 8-7 extra inning thriller. Lillian Christian Lemira. We talked about her yesterday. Christian crushed a 3-run homer during Lemira's 9-run first inning. When the Lions started swinging, Clinton simply couldn't stop them. Haley Caspery, not only a shutout, not only another shutout in the postseason, she also helped herself with a solo homer. Then she went out and dominated in the circle. Shutout, pitching, and a home run. Not a bad combination. Reese Krause from New Holstein. Krause got New Holstein rolling with a 1st inning solo homer. She also picked up a complete victory in this, complete game victory in the circle. Emma Manderscheid from New Holstein. Manderscheid added a 2-run homer and drove in 3 runs overall. The Huskies piled up 13 hits on their way to Madison. Taylor Bugles. We talked about Tori. Don't forget Taylor. Taylor Bugles from Johnson Creek delivered a 2-run homer that helped Johnson Creek pull away from Algoma. Her sister Tori handled the rest in the circle with a shutout performance. Sawyer Hazley from Appleton North. Hazley's 2nd inning solo home run gave Appleton North an early lead. I'm so happy for Sawyer. She's such a great kid, and she plays 3rd base for North and is such an important part of this team. I'm so happy to see she had her moment last night. It was a game that featured 17 total runs. Every run mattered, including yours, Sawyer. Good job on a home run. Sophie Hermes from Kimberly. Hermes wasted no time getting Kimberly on the board. Her 1st inning home run started what became a 4-home run day for the Papermakers. Sophie Hermes's career at Kimberly ends, and her career at UW-Madison for softball is going to just be beginning very soon. Nevaeh Honig from Kimberly. Honig joined the home run parade with a solo shot as Kimberly kept battling back. The Papermakers never quit. They just ran out of innings. Shaylin Krasniewski from Denmark. Crash's 2-run homer helped keep Denmark alive against FVL. The defending champs fought until the very end before their title defense came to a close. Ariana Pugh from Marshfield. Pugh blasted a 3-run homer during Marshfield's offensive explosion last night over Chippewa Falls. The Tigers looked every bit like a state championship contender. Madeline Cole of Marshfield. Cole added a solo homer and finished with 3 hits. Marshfield piled up 15 hits and never let Chippewa Falls breathe. Avery Kelnhofer from Marshfield. Avery launched a 1st inning home run that immediately set the tone. Marshfield never slowed down. Bitsy Palika, of course she homered. Palika threw a 1-hit shutout, struck out 13, hit a home run, tripled, and drove in 3 runs. Pretty good. One of the most dominant performances we've seen all season, and that's against Emily Johnson, one of the most dominant pitchers in the state. That's a baller right there, Bitsy. That's your home run club for Championship Thursday. A lot of big swings, a lot of unforgettable moments, and a lot of players helping punch tickets to Goodman Diamond. But unfortunately, not everybody who played great got to celebrate. And that means it's time to check in to the most unfortunate hotel in Wisconsin. It's time for the Hard Luck Hotel. Oh, the rooms are terrible, the beds are uncomfortable, the ice machine's broken, the shower water is either freezing cold or lava hot. And unfortunately, Championship Thursday checked a few more guests into the lobby. These are the players who were outstanding and still went home. First, Riley Weaver. You know, she did everything she could do. If there was ever a presidential suite at the Hard Luck Hotel, this might be it. Weaver homered, drove in 4 runs, had Adams' friendship in position to reach Madison, and still watched the season end on a walk-off. That's like driving 12 hours to your vacation destination only to find out the hotel accidentally canceled your reservation. Outstanding performance, brutal ending. Room 202, Brecken Ludke, Kimberly, 2 home runs, 4 RBI. Kimberly hits 4 home runs as a team, scores 8 runs, and still loses. That's like booking the luxury suite, getting upgraded at check-in, finding chocolate on your pillow, and then discovering the hotel lost your luggage. Everything looked perfect, except the ending. Room 303, Shaylin Krasniewski, Denmark. Home run, 2 RBI, defending state champs, 1 win away from Madison. Instead, the title defense ends. That's like arriving at an all-inclusive resort and finding out the buffet closes 5 minutes before you get there. Room 404, Maggie Frank, Denmark. 3 RBI, 2 hits. Big moment after big moment, but FVL just kept answering. Ever stay at a hotel room where the room looked amazing online, then you arrive and discover the air conditioning doesn't work? That's this one. Room 505, Shannon Fritz, Baldwin Woodville. 3 hits, a game-tying home run, one of the biggest swings of the day, and still ended up on the wrong side of the scoreboard. That's like finally finding the perfect hotel pillow 5 minutes before checkout. Room 606, Emily Johnson Cedarburg, one of Wisconsin's best players, one of Wisconsin's best careers, and one of the toughest endings imaginable. That's like spending months planning the perfect vacation, only to have the airline cancel the flight at the gate. Not fair, but that's sports. Every state tournament qualifier means somebody else's dream ended, and sometimes the players who lose are just as impressive as the players who win. So tonight, we salute Riley Weaver, Brecken Ludke, Shaylin Krasniewski, Maggie Frank, Shannon Fritz, and Emily Johnson. Outstanding performances, terrible hotel accommodations, and honorary guests at the Hard Luck Hotel. Now let's get out of here before they charge us $40 for parking and $12 for bottled water. Quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about what caught our eye last night. There's a lot more to talk about. You're watching Whip Around and Find Out, presented by the Circle Tap in Denmark and Wonder Springs Golf Course in Greenleaf.
It gets to the point where you have to start giving up sports, then you know it's time. I would highly recommend Orthopedic Associates. I had a full knee replacement. By 3 months, I was water skiing again, playing hockey. I have no pain. I just feel like I have a whole new life again.
W7's got it right, covering girls' high school sports all the time. 100% free, 100% live. W7 for the girls.
Welcome back. Whip Around and Find Out, presented by the Circle Tap in Denmark and Wonder Springs Golf Course in Greenleaf. Okay, what caught our eye? Let me put this back up here. I keep forgetting to do it after the break. There's too much stuff going on, you guys. I'm telling you. Championship Thursday wasn't just about the final scores. A few storylines jumped off the page, and these are the ones we couldn't stop thinking about. West Allis keeps shocking people. At some point, we need to stop calling West Allis a surprise. First, it was Wisconsin Lutheran. Now it's Brookfield East. The Blue Jays continue one of the most impressive postseason runs in the state. No flashy headlines, no massive expectations, just wins. And now Behind Mackenzie Dent, they're one of the final 8 teams standing in D1. You know what? Bravo, West Allis. That's so great. I'm so happy for them. They worked hard. They got there. We'll see them at state. I can't wait. We hope that the dream continues. Hamilton sent a message. I mean, that's a storyline. You don't beat Cedarburg 9-0 by accident, especially not in a sectional final. Bitsy Palika was dominant. The Chargers scored 9 runs in a single inning, and one of the state's most accomplished programs never recovered. If there was a team that made a statement Thursday, it was Hamilton. There's got to be no doubt they're the #1 seed heading into Madison next week. Gotta be. Marshfield looked scary. 11 runs, 15 hits, 3 homers, and a 1-hit shutout. That's not a good day. That's a terrifying day. Marshfield looked every bit like a team capable of winning a state championship next week. The Tigers are playing their best softball at exactly the right time. Haley Hutchins' return, one of the best stories of Championship Thursday. After suffering a broken wrist earlier this season, many thought her year was done. Instead, she fought her way back, worked her way back, and returned when her team needed her the most. Then she delivered one of the biggest hits of the day, the tying RBI that helped spark Pewaukee's comeback victory. That's the kind of story that makes high school sports special. Olivia Piranillo from Turner. We talked about the shutout last night. Do you know this? Olivia pitched 4 consecutive shutouts in the postseason to carry her Turner squad to state. 4 shutouts in a row for Olivia. Unbelievable work. This is actually, let's see. Okay, so that is our things that caught our eye last night. Before we start looking ahead to Goodman Diamond, I want to take a minute to talk about something we're really passionate about at W7. Every year we produce highlight videos. Every year we stream games. Every year we take thousands of photos, but some moments deserve more than highlights. Some moments deserve to have their story told. That's why we created our state tournament documentary series. And this isn't a hype video. It isn't a highlight reel. It's a documentary. It's about the journey, the bus rides, the practices, the team meals, the locker room moments, the conversations nobody else sees, the emotions, the friendships, the memories that will last long after the final score is forgotten. In fact, we're going to show you a trailer right now from the documentary we produced for Mishicot. Let me bring this up for you guys. Here it is.
Here's the 1-0 in the air in the infield. Who's going to call it? Bone has it, and Laconia has done it. They hand Mishicot their first loss of the year, scoring 3 in the top of the 7th, and Laconia goes to the Division III championship game.
The loss against Laconia always stays in the back of our head because we know we could have pushed through that.
Let's go in there and show them where Mishicot is and what we can do. Come on.
The Mishicot.
I've always believed.
That's what we're talking about. In that documentary, we had to find a story because the documentary is not about highlights and scores. It's about finding what the story is. The story of that Mishicot team last year was about overcoming what happened to them the year before against Laconia. That's why we showed that at the beginning. That was the story. That was the driver. That was what fueled that team, was getting back to state. They were undefeated that year and lost in the semifinal game on a comeback by Laconia. That's what fueled that team. That was our story. Everything else was built around it. Years from now, nobody's going to remember every pitch. Nobody's going to remember every score, but they'll remember the experience. They'll remember the people. They'll remember the journey. That's what these documentaries are designed to preserve. And one question we get all the time is this: What if we get to state and lose right away? Honestly, that has nothing to do with whether the documentary is successful, because this is not a documentary about winning a state championship. It's a documentary about the experience. In fact, some of our best documentaries have been about teams that didn't win the state championship. The anticipation, the preparation, the friendships, the emotions, the journey of being one of only 24 teams in Wisconsin still playing softball in June. Some of our most powerful documentaries haven't ended with championships. They ended with tears. They ended with hugs. They ended with seniors realizing they had put on the uniform for the final time. And those moments matter too. In many ways, they're even more powerful. If your only goal is a highlight reel after winning a championship, this probably isn't for you. But if you want to preserve one of the most memorable weeks of these players' lives, that's exactly why we created this program. Whether your season ends in the quarterfinals, the semifinals, the championship game, or with a gold ball in your hands, the story is still worth telling. And if your team qualified for state Thursday, now is the time. Not Monday, not Tuesday, not after the tournament starts, now. Because the first step in creating one of these documentaries is getting a GoPro into the hands of the players this weekend. We want them documenting the excitement, the anticipation, the hotel rooms, the bus rides, the team meals, the conversations, the moments that happen before anyone steps onto the field at Goodman Diamond. Those are the moments that become priceless years later. And one more thing, we're only taking 2 teams this year, not because we don't want to do more. I'd love to do 30 of them, 24, because we want to do it right. These documentaries take time, they take planning, they take storytelling, and they take a commitment to capturing the moments that matter. We don't want to produce 10 average documentaries. We want to produce 2 incredible ones. That's why we're limiting this project to just 2 state qualifiers this season. Once those 2 spots are filled, they're gone. So if your team qualified last night and wants to preserve this journey forever, reach out today, because state championships are remembered, but the journey to get there also deserves to be remembered. So you can certainly text me, you can email me, info@productionsw7.com. Again, the first 2 we're going to take. Okay, there are fees involved, of course, but that's something we could talk about as well. Speaking of the journey to Goodman Diamond, let's take our first look at the teams who will be competing for a state championship next week. We're not making predictions. We're not handing out gold balls. But after watching Thursday, a few things stand out. Nobody wants to see these teams: Hamilton, Marshfield, Fox Valley Lutheran, Medford, or Almond Bancroft. Every one of those teams enters state with momentum, and every one of those teams is capable of making a deep run. Some of the best pitchers heading into state: Bitsy Palika, Madison Babcock, Lexi Carlton, Raya Ceballos, Riley Harabi, Tori Bugles, Olivia Piriano. If pitching wins championships, those names are going to matter a lot next week. Best offensive performance of the day, certainly Appleton North, 9 runs, 13 hits, and somehow survived 4 homers from Kimberly. We talked about our best game of the day, Lodi and Adams friendship, extra innings, lead changes, Riley Weaver heroics, and a walk-off finish. The best story heading to Madison, I think there's 2 of them. One is West Allis. Nobody expected this run, nobody, but here they are. And another one, of course, has to be the incredible play of Haley Hutchins from Pewaukee. That's a great story as well. One last break. We're going to come back with our Who's That Girl, and we'll get out of here. You've been watching Whip Around and Find Out, presented by the Circles App in Denmark and Wander Springs Golf Course.
Fix TV. Live contents like never before. Switch between multiple live channels with ease. Access anytime, anywhere with our user-friendly app. Fix TV brings the action right at your fingertips. Download now. Available on all devices.
All right, let's start with our honorable mentions for Who's That Girl. Kinley Peterson, Fox Valley Lutheran. Callie Deacon, Stevens Point. Maya Dernbach, Almond Bancroft. And Bitsy Palika, Hamilton. And now today's winner, Who's That Girl, is Jordan Roth from Stevens Point. Jordan went 4 for 4 and won a game that very few people predicted they would, and helped carry her Stevens Point Panthers to the state tournament. Congratulations, Jordan Roth. You are today's sectional championship W7 Who's That Girl? Wow, what a day. 48 teams started Championship Thursday with the same dream. 24 achieved it. Some survived extra innings, some survived slugfests, some rode dominant pitching performances all the way to Madison, but every one of them earned it. The road to Goodman Diamond is complete. The field is set, and next week, 24 teams will take their shot at a gold ball. We'll be back Tuesday night for a special 2-hour state tournament preview show. 8 o'clock Tuesday night will be the next time you see us. Seedings come out tomorrow. Keep an eye out. Ladies, thank you for an unbelievable sectional championship Thursday and for an unbelievable season. Seniors who played your last game, thank you for giving everything you had to softball. Don't hang your head, be proud. You did your family, your teammates, and your school very, very well. I'm Gary Whipperman. Thanks for watching. Have a great Friday. You've been watching Whip Around and Find Out. We are for the girls.